Hello to everyone out there. Okay, let's get started. So we need to build a zoo enclosure. I googled the size of an elephant. The average size is 6 meters in length. Sorry, no, 5.5 is what they said. But I'm going to round that to the nearest whole number. So I look at the 5, that tells me I need to round up. That would round up to 6 meters. So the area needs to be at least 6 by 6 meters. But that enclosure would just barely fit the elephant. And an elephant being a very big size, it needs probably a lot more room. So this area is equal to 36 meters, meters squared. But 36 meters squared, we said, isn't enough because as you can see, it's very cramped for the elephant. Just to let you know, I got 36 meters squared because I multiplied the length and the width. So that's how you calculate area, just to recap. Okay, let's try doubling the size of the enclosure. Right, so you can see I've got the original 6 by 6 enclosure, so that's 36. If I double it, then I would have another 6 by 6, and the total area would be, so 36 was this side, 36 meters squared, plus this is the same square, so that's also going to be 36 meters squared. So if I double the enclosure, the area becomes 72 meters squared. Another way you could have calculated that is the total length of this line we know is 6 and 6, so the total is 12, and the width is 6, so you could have done 12 times 6, which would give you the same answer. Oops, 72 meters squared. Again, that feels way too small for the elephant. So what exactly is an appropriate area for the enclosure? Well, this is where your reasoning comes in, meaning whatever you decide, as long as you've got good reason behind it, then your answer is correct. So let's have a look at my reasoning behind what size I've decided to make the enclosure. So we know that the elephant is 6 meters in length. Therefore, it occupies an area of 36 meters squared. So if we go back to here, the elephant, which is 6 meters in length, if I turn that into a square, I have a length and width of 6, and if I multiply it together, we get the area, which is 36 meters squared. So we know that it occupies an area of 36 meters squared, so that's how much area the elephant will take up in its enclosure. However, it would be very cruel to make only that its enclosure, because it's such a small space. The enclosure needs an area that is at least 20 times its size. So this, we need that times by 20. So therefore, I multiplied the area an elephant takes up, so that's this amount here, so he takes up 36 meters squared. I multiplied the area an elephant takes up by 20 because I want to give him 20 times his size for an enclosure. This gave me, and also you can see I've put it in brackets here, the equation that I just explained, 36 times 20. This gave me an area of 720 meters squared. So his enclosure is going to be 720 meters squared. So after I wrote down the reasoning for the area, which we decided was going to be 720 meters squared, I need to draw it. Now your drawing obviously doesn't have to be to scale, because on a sheet of paper there's no way I'm going to be able to draw a enclosure that is 720 meters squared, when a piece of paper is only about what, 30 centimeters, I'd say. So your drawing's not going to be to scale. You just draw it any size and shape, but you got to label it accurately. So what I mean by that is, let's say I had 70 over here meters, and then I had 10 meters over here. This would be an incorrect label because 70 times 10 would give me 700 meters squared. But I wanted 720 meters squared for his enclosure. So I gotta make a change. I'm gonna change this to 72 meters squared. and we can see that 72 meters squared times by 10 meters will give me 720 meters squared. So that's how you need to draw your enclosure. You can be as artistic about it as you want. You don't need to mention the total area in the inside, you can mention it at the top. You could write A equals, make sure you label the length and the width. Okay, so just a quick recap. So first you got to look at the size of the animal. So for example, in the case of the elephant, we know he was 6 meters, so he needs a minimum of 6 by 6. So that makes an area of 36 meters squared. Now obviously we said that this was too small, and we decided that he would need 20 of these to make his entire enclosure, and that gave us 720 meters. We then wrote down the reasoning behind why we made it 720 meters. And then finally, we drew his enclosure and we labeled it. And the labels showed us that the area does in fact make 720 meters.